Hi viewers, this is Ashish from Chennai Times. We have today here with us Mr. Sikil Gurucharan, a very young and well-known Carnatic singer based out of Chennai. He doesn't need much introduction. He's very, very popular in the Carnatic music circuit. So we have here Sikil Gurucharan with us. Welcome to this interview, sir. Good to have you.
Thank you, Ashish. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
So the interesting part is, he's coming out with a series where he's going to collaborate with a couple of instrumentalists, and he's going to talk about the connection between an instrumentalist and a singer, how they complement each other in Carnatic music. So let's hear from him what this whole concept is. How did this idea come up? And what is he planning to do?
Thank you, Ashish. Yeah, this is a concept which was in my mind for some years now. I would say about 3 to 4 years. But I didn't know when would be the right opportunity to showcase, because this is something that everyone has already seen. So every concert that we perform, it is an exposition of this YouTube series that I'm planning. It's nothing but communication. So every concert is a study in proper and effective communication between individuals. So you have, supposing you assume you have 4 artists on stage. At any given point of time, you will find that there is a very steady thread of communication going in between the 4 artists. So it can be between the violinist and the vocalist, or it can be between the 2 percussionists, or it can be between the percussionist and the violinist. So you always see that there are these intense emotions, intense communication that's happening, not by any words that others understand. It's just purely through music. It's purely through the game of swaras and talam. Only using these 2 parameters, we tend to communicate a lot on stage. So this is something that everyone has experienced as audience before, as musicians before. So the concept of achieving unison through duality, it is something that has always fascinated me, and I wanted to take that duality as literal as possible, and I wanted to showcase just the voice and one more instrument, preferably an instrument that people are not used to seeing the voice with. Because most commonly, just speaking up for myself, I can say that people have seen me perform with the violin and with Anil Srinivasan on the piano. So kind of moving away from this, bringing other instruments that I have really not worked with, but still there is a lot of scope for dialogue between the 2 voices. I wanted to bring that concept into this series, and I was just probably in communication with several people about how to take this forward. And thankfully, I should not say thankfully, fortunately or unfortunately, because of this COVID pandemic, when everything kind of moved online, and people known to me started asking for content that is kind of new but still rooted in our tradition. So we had basically master classes in the beginning, and then we had concerts with specific themes on YouTube. And later on, the question was, what next? What can we do next? We have done a concert, we have done a workshop, a master class, but is there anything that is in your mind? And I pitched this idea to my dear friends in Sarvamangala Productions. They are based out of Abu Dhabi. So they said that this sounds fascinating. If you don't mind, let us launch it in our channel, they said. So I was very happy to find an outlet for this idea. So as I said, the general understanding of this series, Advaitam, where I collaborate with 5 different instrumentalists. It's not limited to a string. It also has a percussion, and it also has a wind instrument as well. So in this series, I just wanted to take instruments that I've not really worked with, but still there is a lot of scope for communication and musical collaboration. So I chose to have mandolin, kanchira, nagaswaram, the guitar or the banjo, and then we had the veena. So these 5 instruments, to begin with, I wanted to explore the possibility of how the voice and these instruments kind of work on a similar idea. So that was the basic concept.
Did you kind of feel that there's a need to educate people on the importance of instruments in Carnatic music. I'm sure that, you know, a lot of people who closely listen to Carnatic music are well aware of this, but did you ever have a feeling that, you know, there is a need to educate people on the importance of Carnatic music? Because when you look at it, when a singer comes into the picture, do you feel a lot of attention goes to the singer, and, you know, people fail to notice the instrumentalist?
Yeah, I've seen two versions of this, Ashish, especially in places where there are a lot of Carnatic music rasikas already. There is this inclination towards listening to a lot of vocal because the lyrical factor kind of appeals to them. The fact that they can hear words, they can understand them, they can at least follow what language is being sung. That extra element of the lyrics or the human voice, it's kind of attractive to the rasikas. Of course, they are also equally responsive to instruments, but in places where people are not that aware of Carnatic music, instrumentalists are more welcome in their areas, because they sometimes find the words to be a little they are little obstacles to understanding the music, because they have to concentrate. They cannot understand the language, and they sometimes feel that just a melodic this just a melody as such presented is well received by them. But when you combine that melody with lyrics in Telugu and Tamil and Sanskrit, then they have to kind of understand what the meaning is. The next question, natural logical question for them, is what is the meaning of the song? But then we say the meaning, and it kind of takes away from the experience of enjoying music as it is. But as I said, I've seen both these versions. What you said is actually true. We need to educate audiences, more and more audiences, about Carnatic music in general, because Carnatic music is not just based on instruments or just based on vocal music, or it's not just based on kritis or just based on ragas and talas. It is a confluence of all these different streams, I would say. So the idea behind creating such a concept is to actually show the wonderful art of communication that is present in our system of music. So right from the first class that we attend with our gurus, so what our guru sings, we have to repeat, and then the concept of questioning the guru arises. So we start questioning, why do we sing these sangadis? Why don't we sing these sangadis? And that is how knowledge gets developed. So similarly, in a concert stage, the same level of communication is applied there also. So we attempt to do certain things. We question ourselves as to why do we have to do this again and again? Why can't we communicate in a different way? And that's how art evolves eventually. So the factor called communication, without any pre-existing language, but purely depending on the language of music, is something that I wanted to educate the audience more on.
Uh, you know, something I think a lot of people ask a singer or a musician is that, you know, how do you think you have evolved over the time? You know, but one question that I want to ask you is, how do you think as a singer you have evolved during this lockdown?
I think I have jumped into the online world a little more. I didn't see myself doing that before March. So now I find myself hooked to the to the Zoom or to Skype or whatever means possible, just to connect with the audience or just to connect with students. And yeah, so a lot of students nowadays, because it's not weekly classes that I do sometimes, but I get to do these blocks of classes through a very thematic group lesson that I give. And for that, I need to educate myself first. So I'm seeing myself more as a communicator right now, since this lockdown has begun. And also, whenever we get the opportunity, we go and record concerts for whoever asks, and we try to play with the technology that we have in hand. And it's always about balance. You know, you have to balance techno art, and we make sure we give them the right output, so that they feel that they are listening to a concert live. So in many ways, I think this lockdown, this pandemic, kind of has taught me especially how to evolve as a musician, evolve as a performer, and evolve as a communicator of this art form.
I believe that when it comes to music, Carnatic musicians more or less believe in giving live concerts, as you said. They always prefer uh, instruments being played live when compared to film music, where it's to an extent pre-recorded music. Um, so how do you see that now you are forced to be in a situation, and how are you accepting that fact? And especially we're coming closer to the Margari season, and I believe that this year the season itself is going to be an online one. So how are you accepting this fact?
See, the bigger fact is that there is danger all around us. So we need to accept that fact. And once we are aware of that fact, everything else will fall in place. So yes, it does sting a lot that we are not able to go perform outside, connect with real people in the real world during the concerts, because a lot of musicians like me, we work and we thrive on audience interaction. So we would love to see how an audience, live audience, react to our music. That is the biggest casualty, I would say, ever since we started performing online in these concerts, because all we get to see is 2 or 3 cameras. And in the beginning it was even worse. I mean, in March and April we were just doing concerts with faces on screen, and I've never done that before, and it was so weird. It was so I would say putting off, and I usually naturally tend to close my eyes while performing, but this time I had to. Once you close your eyes, sometimes the video freezes and people are commenting and you're not able to look at that. It was a lot of learning that was necessary for me to adapt to that. But now I'm really thankful that we are at least in the stage where unlock is going on, and we do get to go to a studio that we are most comfortable with. And the studio people also make sure it is well sanitized, and they don't allow more than 5 or 6 people at any given point of time. So it is just going to be myself and my team of artists. We do have our own social distancing protocol to sit, and we have gotten back to live concerts in a very staggering way, I would say. So it's it, of course we don't have concerts happening every week or like that, but some of the concerts that we record, it's given for people in the US or in Dubai or in Singapore. So somehow or the other, I think art, and especially this music as a performing art, has kind of evolved, and that is purely thanks to the technology that has kind of given a given a helping hand today to this art form. And mainly the Rasikas, I think they have shown a lot of support and shown a lot of open-mindedness in receiving such a live art form like Carnatic music in the online world. So it's only because of them that this system is working. But as everyone would say, I can't wait to get back to the stage for live performances. And I do make this disclaimer in my every each one of my online appearances, whether it's a workshop or a masterclass. I just say that please don't get used to this. We need to get back to the world as soon as possible and connect. That's how this system works. So yeah, this is a very good makeshift arrangement that is happening right now.
So how are you preparing yourself for the upcoming season?
Yeah, we do have a couple of concerts lined up for the season. And every concert, as you already know, the Sabhas have all decided to either cancel their festivals or to club themselves with other Sabhas and hold one single online festival where they choose certain artists and make them sing live, and everyone else in the world enjoys this music. That's pretty much about what we have to. Preparation wise, it's the same. Maybe we are not faced with this with the pressure of having to sing every single day in December now. So that is not going to happen. I'm sure it's just going to be probably a far less concerts than what usually happen. But nevertheless, we need to keep ourselves equipped with uh, you know uh, that right kind of musical repertoire, and our voice has to be in perfect shape. So the training pandemic or no pandemic, the training keeps on going. There's no dearth in that. The outlet is going to be a little challenging now. We may not have that kind of experience that we usually had in last December, etc. But as I said, this is just a matter of accepting reality as it is. So we are no different. In every field, people are facing this problem, and we just have to pray that this also shall pass.
How would a typical day during your Margari season would be earlier? How would it be a typical day when you have a concert? How would it go?
A typical day would be mostly silence, and then the concert would be literally the place where I actually open my mouth. Other than that, the rest of the day will purely be either practicing to myself, not singing too much, loud, or I don't. I sometimes lock myself in the room and kind of meditate and go over certain areas where I think I need more training in, and then it's all about keeping myself calm and sane before the madness begins in the evening. So once it is unleashed, so we just travel with the music, and we hope for a very good performance. And after that, it's immediately it's like shutting yourself up, shutting yourself down, and getting ready for the next performance. So a typical Margari day would be just like that for me. And of course, I do enjoy the downtime of having of coming home after a concert and kind of unwinding, listening to nice movie songs and watching my favorite series on on TV, and kind of unwinding. So you need that. I would say you need that kind of balance also, especially during a time like Margari when we have concerts every day. So that would have been Margari this year, but for this pandemic.
So are you missing that this time? That kind of pressure singing back to back?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've already started missing it. So it's each time we see concert videos of ourselves, old videos, we definitely do miss that. So the chemistry that we develop with the team members, with the audience, it's something that we have severely been missing for the last 8 months or so. And but I strongly feel it may be a very positive way of thinking, which I feel that should be the way for everyone. I strongly feel this is going to be uh, uh, the situation for the next few months, and after that, slowly things will start getting better, and we just have to be happy that we are in a position like this. So things could have been a lot more worse, and we just wish the people who are actually taking care of this pandemic out there, they are doing a great job, and we just want them to do everything at a steady pace so that we don't have these second or third waves. We have to be careful as well. So
Not many, Carnatic musicians seem to collaborate, in a way that, where you collaborate with Western instruments like piano and, cello or something like that. But I have pretty much seen you doing that quite a lot, especially with Anil. Anil, sir, you do a lot of, concerts, videos and all that. So how do you prepare yourself when you go for something like that, where you have to collaborate with a Western instrument completely? One is piano, of course, and something like cello. Do you have a different kind of preparation when you go and do something like that?
no, not really. It's the preparation is more or less the same, because even if you observe the singing that I mean the what I sing on stage, whether it is a Carnatic concert or a collaboration concert, it's pretty much the same. If I take a ragam or if I take a song, it's the same way in which it is presented in either of these places. So I'm not going to change a raga's texture just because I'm singing with a cellist or a pianist. So maybe the only area where I kind of change the presentation style is the duration in which the duration with which I practice these ragas on stage. The time I take to unravel the performance style. So in a typical Carnatic concert, I am in total control of the repertoire. I choose what to sing next, and it takes. I have my own pace to unwind, or a pace to get to keep the concert going. But in a collaborative concert, it is more or less set. We go with a set frame of mind, and then we kind of embrace the last minute improvs that happen on stage. So that is probably one of the differentiating points between these two types of concerts. But otherwise, the my practice method, my singing style, it doesn't change for anything.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. It was wonderful listening to you about your upcoming series and music, and how you're preparing also for the Margari season, what we can expect this season, and how things will be online and all that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Ashish. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I hope all of you stay put and hang in there till this pandemic ends and we are all able to meet again in the real world. Advaitam as a series is releasing this Navaratri in October 2020. It will be released on Sarvamangala's YouTube channel. The promos are all going on YouTube already. So I wish all of you watch this series and appreciate the nuances of dialogue and communication in Carnatic music, because that is something that all of us can understand and all of us need to realize as individuals, that as much as we like to speak, it is also important that we should listen. And a practicing Carnatic musician, or as a practitioner of Carnatic musician, I think this is what the music has taught me the most. Speak and also hear and listen to others. That is the most important thing that's happening in a Carnatic concert. You get to promote your ideas, and you also get to listen to other ideas and work together, so that the art is placed in the forefront and not the artist at any given point of time. So that's the entire idea behind Advaitam. Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.